Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. We are here, some BM Hunter Battleground gameplay. I'll just pull up my talents. This is pretty boilerplate stuff, though. Nothing too exciting. Pretty much everyone, I think, universally runs all of kind of these talents for the most part. The only thing you can change here, maybe you want to run Dire Basilisk or Beast Within. You could run one of the Poison Stings if you are feeling like it. One thing worth mentioning is I'm running with a Silithid as my pet. So we'll see kind of how that goes. But they have the slow, and then their exotic pet passive is 30% increased move speed. So I've found that you end up having a pretty decent uptime with them, so that you end up doing a good amount of damage just because they're constantly just all over the place.
Commanding shout.
Oh no, we need to turn that off. So yeah, but Silithid seems to have pretty decent uptime, so we're gonna go ahead and go with the opener here. Pop Bestial Wrath. I'm gonna pop Aspect as well. I'm gonna go ahead and stun this warrior. I should be hopping on the druid here now. Ooh, we weren't able to maintain. So you can see that bar that I have down at the bottom is basically my frenzy buff watcher. So now I need to kind of wait because I need to get multiple stacks back up again. I'm not going to be able to get. You can see when it highlights there, what it's doing on my UI is basically the barb shot has recharged enough to ensure that I'm going to get a second charge off. So then basically what you want to do is wait until like the last second and a half if you can. One thing I found doing PvP, so as of patch 8.1, I've been doing, oh shit dude, I've done that too. He MC'd the priest there, he MC'd the druid there, and so I wasn't able to get my barb shot off because I had him targeted, but he was an ally. So we're gonna swap back over here. I have my stun up in 1 second. I'm gonna go ahead and stun him here. But yeah, basically what you're trying to do, the majority of your focus really needs to be on the uptime of your barb shot and really ensuring that you're keeping 3 stacks of frenzy. It's really helpful. I think it's really hard to not have a weak auras showing the buffs for BM because so much of your damage output and your priority, I don't know why the global wasn't going off there, is basically on trying to maintain the 3 stacks of frenzy as best you can. And that's very hard to do just by default. Go ahead and trap this guy. I've kick up in 4. I'm gonna end up losing my frenzy stacks here. I could have been able to spam that in time before it went out. It's gonna be tough. So I'm gonna wait till I get some stacks built up. The other thing that's really important to remember and to be aware of is that your barb shots actually reduce the cooldown of your Bestial Wrath by like 13 seconds, I believe it is. And so you want to ensure that you're using those while optimizing, but making sure your Bestial Wrath doesn't stay off of cooldown. Like, you want to be using that as quickly as you can, since you are in fact casting. Why is my pet not stunning him? Since you are in fact casting your barb shots so consistently, if you think about it, if you end up casting 2 barb shots while your Bestial Wrath is just sitting waiting to be cast, that's basically 25 seconds you could have gotten off of that cooldown, right? It's a huge amount of time. So it's important to be aware of that and really be cognizant of that, because it's a big especially like extended fights. It's a huge amount of pressure that you gain from having that. I mean, if you're able to have it up, you know, one more time during the course of a fight is really big. So you see, I'm doing my best. I'm struggling a little bit trying to talk and maintain that. But we're doing what we can. If you get in a situation where there's a couple melee that you're on, you can go ahead and try and beast cleave and kind of prioritize that. We should be good here. Now, BM is one of those specs too. It's like, I've been playing this. I played this a lot. Actually, right before I started kind of doing any of the YouTube content on this channel. I was playing BM a lot right at the release of BFA. It was incredibly strong. It was a very, very good spec. It still is a good spec, but they had nerfed a lot of stuff in PvP. So they basically, let's go ahead and we're going to speed up here. Keep our stuff up here. So we have a couple things we can do here. If he casts on me, I can feign it. I can kick him. I can keep him slowed. I'm going to go ahead and Master's Call there. Now I have my aspect back up, but I don't want to cast it here because I don't think I'm going to need it for this, and I don't want to waste it. So now we have all our cooldowns back up again, right? So we kind of save those. But what it says, I played BM a lot right at the beginning of the expansion, and BM is one of those specs that the basics are really simple, right? So it's really easy to kind of understand, okay, kill command on cooldown, basically maintain frenzy as best you can, and then Cobra Shot is your filler. That's your basic rotation, right? But to really optimize and to have 100% uptime on 3 stacks of frenzy, to be able to manage your CCs and interrupts well while doing all of that is actually very, very, very difficult. Much more so, honestly, I think that the rotation and stuff, if you're actually talking about optimized rotation, is a lot more difficult for BM than it is for survival actually, and for marksman. Just because you have more things you're kind of trying to manage, and you're having to manage the pet, and so much of your damage is coming from your pet, that if you're not managing your pet well and your pet's movement and where it's at, and if it's getting CC'd, if it's getting rooted, especially in PvP, really hinders your damage output. Whereas the other 2 specs, I mean, survival, you have your pet some, but the other 2 specs don't really incorporate your pet as much. I'm going to go ahead and pop some cooldowns here. I'm going to trinket that. Nice. 17k on the... I'm going to trap this guy. See, like, I let my barb shot fall off there, or my frenzy stack fall off there while I was casting that trap. So things like that get really difficult. Like, I've just started playing this back again the last few days. So all these things I'm noticing, like, as I'm getting more and more comfortable, right, that I could be perfecting or could be doing more optimally. But it's a really fun spec. And initially in BFA, they nerfed the damage pretty significantly after the first couple weeks. It was very, very strong. They nerfed Basilisk. They gave it a focus cost, and they reduced the damage. They reduced your pet's damage. So they did a lot of things to kind of nerf it, but I think it's still in a pretty decent spot. When it comes to PvP, I could see it actually getting a buff a little bit, because it definitely is on the weaker side. Like, I'm relatively geared, and I feel like I'm doing my rotation pretty well. See, like in here, I'm gonna lose my frenzy stack. But I don't know. We'll see. Either way, I'm having a lot of fun playing this spec the last couple days that I've been doing it. See right there, I tried to squeeze one more Cobra Shot in, lost my frenzy stack. Little things like that. So it's like, that's the difference of really having, you know, significantly high damage and just doing okay. And there's a lot of things like that as you start getting more and more familiar with this spec, you start kind of optimizing and prioritizing a little bit better. We go ahead and stun the pally. Oh, you got that fear off too. One thing I was going to say is the other benefit, the really good value of having this Silithid pet, is that it is it's a cunning pet, which is a lot better in PvP, in my opinion, than the tenacity. Just because that mobility is really great. So I have macroed into my aspect of the cheetah. I have the Master's Call macroed, which allows me to basically just have like a really, really strong like additional escape. I'm gonna go ahead and jump on this mage here. I'm gonna go ahead and pop that barb shot there because I did pop my aspect. Nice. We're just melting this guy. Gonna go ahead and Bestial Wrath here. 27k. Holy shit, man. It's crazy. So when you think about the numbers, like, that's not that crazy huge, as far as like 27k is not like this insane crit, but you have to think about how many little numbers you're getting. Like, what's your uptime? You're just constantly on the target with your pet, constantly just pressuring the target. So getting a 27k crit in PvP is pretty decent on that kill command with that execution, trying to secure that kill. But yeah, so I've been having a lot of fun with it. Spirit Beast is definitely, I feel like, a stronger alternative pet and what you should be running in arena situations. However, I find this Silithid being so amazing for battlegrounds and for like world PvP type content. It's insane. It's so cool, so much fun. The slow is huge, but the big, oh, I accidentally hit my pet stun there. But the main thing is, like, in battle, like, so your shadow melt, or what's it called, what's it called? The spirit pet heal. Shoot, how am I blanking on that? Spirit Mend, right? Spirit Mend. The Spirit Mend range is only 25 yards. And so the issue you run into sometimes in BGs, it's not as much of an issue when you're in arenas, but all your range on all your abilities is more than 25 yards. So unless it's like your pet's attacking a rogue and the rogue is attacking you, it's some like melee situation like that where the target's on you. A lot of times you can be out of range, or if like say my pet's on this guy and then there's like a rogue jumping my healer back here and I want to heal him, like my pet would have to run that whole way, right? And it has to get in range. So there's certain situations when it's a bigger map or bigger, you know, area that you're dealing with that's problematic with Spirit Mend. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and jump on this other guy. I think our pet will just run up that wall and attack him. I'm gonna go ahead and feign here to drop aggro. Oh, he somehow got it back. Oh, he rooted my pet. So luckily though, even if your pet's rooted, oh, he bubbled, okay. Even if your pet's rooted, you can still keep your barb shot, your frenzy stacks up. I'm gonna go ahead and call my pet back. I don't wanna just sit there and waste that time on the pally. I want to ensure that they don't cap waterworks here. You can still maintain the buff with your barb shot. So the only thing you really need to be concerned about honestly is yourself being CC'd in the last little bit. So like if you have 2 seconds left or 3 seconds left and you're kind of waiting to squeeze that last second or two out of the buff before you refresh it and you get Hammer of Justice or feared or whatever, that kind of stuff can happen. So that's just something to be aware of. Luckily, if you are running the Azurite trait, I'll find it after this. You are running that Azurite trait that gives you a free stack of barb shot. It does help in your burst window because you basically get that free stack so you can get 3-stack frenzy up real fast. But if you don't have that, it can be kind of difficult. There's someone right here. There's 2 guys. Nice. I don't know that we needed to Bestial Wrath for that. But so ideally, and I'm having to kind of get used to this too, because my old rotation is I'd do Barb Shot, and then I would do Bestial Wrath, and then I would do my Aspect to get the cooldown and stuff going. But what I really need to be doing is you need to be doing Bestial Wrath first, then doing Barb Shot, then doing Aspect, then doing Barb Shot again. That way you get 2 stacks of that reduced cooldown, allows your Bestial Wrath to be up a little bit quicker. So we did pretty decent here on damage. We had 9 killing blows, pretty solid. Strength of that kill command. You can see kill command just coming in so strong there. Auto shots, melees, cobra shots. One other thing real quick, guys, I am going to be streaming Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. Down below on my Twitch channel, go ahead and give me a follow over there if you guys are interested in joining on the live stream. It's been a lot of fun. And anyways, I will catch you guys in the next video. See you next time.